What's the best real estate investment strategy for 2023? In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what we're doing for 2023 in order to stay profitable and continue to grow my real estate investing business. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs, your family-oriented entrepreneur. Welcome to another video. A couple of weeks ago, CNBC.com released an article that says home flipping profits drop at the fastest pace in over a decade. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire article and what it talks about. What I will do is link this article in a description box for you so that you can take a look at it. But I will read the key points. The first key point says investors are pulling out of the flipping market as profits drop very quickly. That's obvious. We're seeing that, right? In the third quarter, gross flipping profit fell 18.4% from the previous quarter. And that's because the interest rates are going up and people are not willing to pay high prices along with high interest. So you're going to see the flipping profits start to drop because we're going into a buyer's market at this point, if not already in a buyer's market. Right. And then it says roughly 7.5% of third quarter home sales were flips, still historically high, but down 8.2% in the second quarter. So obviously, house flipping is not what you want to be doing in a market like this. High interest rates, you have less buyers readily available to buy with continued high prices of homes. When you combine high prices of homes plus high interest rates, people are not going to be willing to spend that kind of money in order to be able to buy a property. They'll rather wait it out. You'll see home prices start to come down a little bit as the interest rate stabilizes, right? So right now we're between a 6 and a 6.5% interest rate. We have 4 rate hikes this year, which obviously affected the market, slowed the market down. Believe it or not, in some markets, there's still people overbidding on properties. Wholesalers asking ridiculous amounts of money for their wholesale deals. So obviously things haven't balanced out. So what's the best thing for you to do as a real estate investor moving into 2023 in order to ensure that you continue to grow your real estate investing business and continue to make profits as a real estate investor? I'm going to share 3 things we're doing that we're continuing to do because we've set my business up as a timeless business, right? It's not going to matter what the market condition is because of the strategies that we're using. First thing you want to be doing is wholesaling real estate. I used to be a really big fan of wholesaling because it doesn't require any cash out of your pockets. It doesn't require you to take ownership of a house. And you can basically play middleman and make a profit on a property without ever owning the house. All you have to do is control the property through a contract. I have plenty of videos up on YouTube talking about wholesaling real estate, why it's effective. My only beef with wholesaling is you only get paid one time, meaning if I wholesale a contract over to a cash buyer, I only get my assignment fee, and that's a one-time check. Although wholesaling is great, you should have it in your real estate arsenal as part of your real estate business so that you can continue to generate revenue in your business. I personally, and this is for me, your situation may be different, but for me personally, I'm not interested in one-time checks. I'm interested in cash flow and passive income. So I use wholesaling as a tool to be able to get more deals, to be able to get more cash flow coming in. I don't believe that wholesaling is going to be a great fit long term. I don't want to be 60 years old trying to wholesale 10 deals a month. It's just way too much work. But with that being said, wholesaling is a great play if you're brand new trying to build up your cash in order to be able to get into real estate. I believe that it helps you find the right deals and learn how to find the right deals. I believe it helps you build up your bank account and understand how to structure deals the right way in order to be able to get into some other things as a real estate investor. So I believe that wholesaling needs to be a part of your arsenal, especially in 2023. But what I will say is make sure that you're getting into the right deals. Do not try to overprice deals with high interest rates because your deal is going to be harder to sell. Wholesaling is the first strategy that I would personally be doing during the 2023 market. I don't believe that there's going to be a market crash at all. I do believe that there's going to be a continued slowdown of the market, and it's still going to allow you to be able to make good profits as a real estate investor. And I do believe that home prices are going to continue to go up in 2023. So with high interest rates and home prices still going up, obviously certain strategies are not going to be useful moving forward. So home flipping is probably not going to be that strategy that you want to be doing in 2023, as this article that I'm looking at mentioned. But wholesaling, where you don't have to take out debt in order to buy the property, would be a really good strategy right now. Strategy number 2. This is one of my favorite strategies. I've been doing it for years, and I'm going to continue to do it, and I'm going to continue to teach it. It's my hybrid wholesaling strategy. Hybrid wholesaling is basically a term that I personally made up. If you haven't heard of anybody talking about it, it's because I coined the phrase hybrid wholesaling. And basically what that is a mixture of creative finance and wholesaling in order to be able to make money up front, make money every month, and back end profits as well. In fact, about a week ago, I released a video on a deal that I recently closed. I made close to $20,000 while doing absolutely nothing. Infinite return on my investment on this particular deal because I didn't have any money into the deal. I made $7,000 up front. I collected a couple of $100 a month, and I collected another $12,000 to $13,000 on the back end. Watch that video right here if you want to see that particular deal and how I actually structured it. Hybrid wholesaling, creative finance is a great way, especially seller financing, subject to and things like that. You want to be doing those types of deals in this market. Why? Because as interest rates are at a peak right now, you can create your own terms with seller finance and get lower rates. That's with seller financing. With subject to, you might come across somebody who bought a property a few years ago and have a 3.5% mortgage rate, and they can't continue to make the payments on the property. So what do? You take over their loan at a 3.5% interest rate rather than taking out new debt and paying 6% interest for the same exact property, which is going to kill your cash flow. So to me, creative finance, wholesaling, hybrid wholesaling, if you want to do it the way that I personally teach it, is the best strategies that you want to be doing for 2023. With these strategies, you don't have to take out any debt under your personal name. Nobody's running your credit. You're either creating a note with a seller through seller financing, which doesn't involve the bank or your credit. You're either going to take over somebody else's payments that already exist and you're just going to own the property, or you're just going to control the property through a contract. None of these strategies, none of them require you to get a loan from a bank. None of them require you to run your credit. You don't need any money. If you want more in-depth detail, step-by-step details on how this actually works, check out my hybrid wholesaling training program, where I teach you wholesaling and creative finance and a blend between the two. All right. And I'll leave a link in the description box for you as well. So what's the third strategy that we're going to be focusing on in 2023? As you know, I'm a fan of the BRRRR strategy. Now, a lot of people might say that BRRRR is not the best way to do deals right now. And I would agree with that to a certain extent. So what we're doing when it comes to the BRRRR strategy in order to operate these deals, in order to be profitable in 2023, is number one, we're picking up these deals at deep discounts. I did a video earlier in the year, again, where I said you don't want to be paying the same amount that you were paying last year for this year's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price, okay? You want to make sure that you're paying less for property. So you should be picking up these deals between 50 and 60 cents on a dollar or less, right? If you can pick up a better deal, obviously you want to go with the better deal. I know that there's a ton of wholesalers out there still overpricing properties. I know that there's a ton of realtors out there who are moving properties relatively quickly, but you don't want to get caught up in the hype. You want to make sure that you're paying the right price for these properties. I don't believe that you're going to lose a ton of value on them, but you definitely don't want to be overpaying and then have a high interest rate on a refi cash out and then can't cash flow on the property. Which brings me to the second point. Number two, you want to make sure that even if the first numbers work out, you want to make sure that the property is going to cash flow on the other end. So I would be running rental comps hardcore in this market. If you're going to have a high interest rate, make sure that you're going to be in a positive cash flow stance at the end of every single month in order to be able to operate your BRRRR type of deals that you're doing. So not only do you want to pay a huge discount for these particular properties because of the high interest rates, but you also want to make sure that they're going to cash flow. And that's with every BRRRR deal that you do. Even if the market is good, you want to make sure that you're cash flowing every single month, because that cash flow is what's going to dictate if it's a good deal or not. And number three, when it comes to BRRRR deals, you want to make sure that you're using the most recent comps. I wouldn't be using comps from 12 months ago. I wouldn't even be using comps from 6 months ago. We're using comps from 90 days or less right now because there's still a lot of sales going on. There should be enough comparable sales on the market for you to be able to use in order to be able to comp the properties with recent properties. Don't use properties from, back in July. The market was different back in July. Interest rates went up since July, so the market changed slightly. Use comps from the last 90 days or less and try to keep the comps as tight as possible to the property that you're comping. So that's the only way that we're doing BRRRR deals right now. Some people are not doing BRRRR deals. They believe that BRRRR is not the best strategy. But I believe that if it falls within the criteria that I just provided, if those numbers pan out, I would personally take out debt in order to be able to buy a piece of property, because it doesn't matter. I'm making money every single month. I'm not coming out of my pocket. I don't care what the interest rate is if those numbers make sense. But if you cannot find the right BRRRR deal, make sure you're wholesaling and doing creative finance at the very least. And if you want a combo of the two, make sure you're doing hybrid wholesaling. If you want an entire blueprint on how that actually works, check the link in the description box where I teach you my entire hybrid wholesaling blueprint from A to Z. I hope you benefited from this video. I hope you have a game plan moving forward for 2023. And another thing I want you to keep in mind is everybody starts at 0 on January 1st. Now, obviously, everybody's circumstances are different. My position may be different than your position. My experience level may be different than yours, but everybody's income starts at 0 on January 1st. So where are you going to end up at the end of the fiscal year, December 31st, 2023? Hope you benefited from this video once again. Like it, subscribe, click the notification bell. See you guys on the next one. Peace.